And we're live. Am I focused? Let's not do this today. There we go. There we go. Hello. And we're live. Welcome back to the channel. In this live stream, I'll be doing a Q&A. So I'm just gonna get straight into it. When I posted on Instagram and then also posted here on YouTube, like a little post saying, you know, ask me pretty much anything about Locs. I get a lot of the same questions, and I wanted to answer some frequently asked questions as well as just some specific questions that you all had for me, so that you responded to my little thing on Instagram, to my Instagram story, and then also on YouTube when I asked. So thank you to everybody who asked me a question, and I'm going to answer them all in this live, but then I'm also going to take other questions that are asked throughout the live stream. Hopefully it's not too long, like an hour. Try to have my live streams all like about an hour or like a little over an hour, nothing too long. Hello. Hi, Miss T. Welcome to the live. Um, so I don't know if y'all want me to read your Instagram names, but so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hello. I'm gonna read the Actually, I'm going to answer some frequently asked questions first, and then I'm going to read the ones off Instagram, and then I'm going to read the questions off YouTube, and then go like that. And then if there are any other questions in the chat, I'm going to answer those too, just to get it out. Hello, everybody. Hello, Mary. Hello, Janelle. Hello, Miss T. And hello, everybody else who's watching maybe on the replay once it gets posted. So I don't know if y'all want me to read y'all's IG names. Cause some of y'all asked some interesting questions in some interesting ways. Hello. Excited. Please do more lives. Yes, I will. So currently I post like once a week. So I'll do a video. If I don't do a video, I'll do a live stream. But I'll try to do more lives. Maybe I can do it. So I'm trying to like stay consistent with like once a month with the live streams. But I can definitely do it maybe twice a month. I'll look into that. Definitely. Because y'all be giving me some good topics to talk about. Listening for the moisture routine, boo. That's interesting because I'm one of the most minimalistic people here on YouTube, probably who do Locs. One of the most minimalistic. It's like not even funny. I really don't do much, but actually I should have brought my products in so I could show y'all what I use. I may do that later. I should have brought my products and had them right here, but maybe I'll do that later. Okay, I'm gonna get into answering the questions. Hey, everybody who's coming in right now. So, frequently asked question number one. How many Locs do you have? So, I recently combined two of my Locs, and I did a video on it. Let's see. So I combined these in the front. These used to be two of them. These used to be two. I combined into one, and then on this side, these used to be two. I combined into one using the two-strand twist, the two-strand twist method and the crochet method. That's actually a tongue twister. Two-strand twists. Okay, anyways. Before I had 74. Now I have 72 because I combined two of them. So I had 72 Locs. Another frequently asked question: how often do you retwist? So I don't retwist like at all. I don't know how I should answer this question. So within the first I guess 5 months that I had my locks, I retwisted about 3 times. When I first had my locks, I would retwist like every month. So like within the first 3 months, at the end of each month, I retwisted my locks. So I started in November of 2020, December of 2020, January of 2021, February 2021, I retwisted at the end of those months. Then as March approached, I started spacing out my retwists. So in between March and May of 2021, March, April, May, I retwisted probably one other time, and that was for my graduation. I retwisted my last time in May, so I don't retwist my locks. After May 2021, I stopped retwisting. I was like, I'm just gonna semi freeform it. And now what I do for maintenance is I just 2-strand twist my locks, but I don't retwist my locks. I just 2-strand twist them. And if you're kind of wondering, oh, how does that work? I have a video on my channel about my wash day routine and how I wash my hair and then 2-strand twist it so that, because I like to wear wavy. But then I also realized recently, because some of you all commented on my semi freeform, on my combine my locks video. Some of y'all commented on my video and open my eyes to something. My hair grows out of my locks. Like my new growth grows out of my locks. And I didn't really know that for real until some people commented on it. So thank you for those comments. My hands are kind of ashy, but and I think I might get into that later on, because that's kind of the reason why I have 2-strand twisted my locks, because if I don't, it will be a lot more. I might get thinner locks if I don't do that, because if your new growth grows away from your locks, like I guess I can show like a close up right here. It's like all this new growth. Okay, now I want it to focus on me. Oh, focus on my new growth. Okay, so I hope it's focusing. So like how it kind of, no, it's not focusing. All right, whatever. Well, the way in which my hair grows away from the actual lock, the new growth, if I don't 2-strand twist my hair just to like maintain it in some type of way, eventually my hair will just keep on growing out of the lock and it won't grow into the lock, so that this hair on the outside won't start becoming part of the lock, if that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. All right, now I need you to focus. There we go. Frequently asked question. Frequently asked question number 3. Then I'm gonna start reading the Instagram questions. How often do I wash my hair? Yeah. How often do I wash my hair? I wash my hair every 2 weeks. So yeah. All right, now to the Instagram questions. What made you lock it up? I want to, but that's the end of the question. What made me lock up? I've been thinking about it for a couple years, and before 2020, which was the year that I did lock my hair, before then, I was kind of in this place. Well, I didn't know myself a lot before 2020, because as a, I guess, older teenager, younger adult, I still am a young adult, but as an older teenager, like figuring out who you are, or finding out who you are, you sometimes don't do that until later on in life. So I didn't really know that locks suit who I am. Specifically, you see my freeform locks. It suits my personality and what I'm about in life. And it's so crazy that like other people can see something in you that you can't see in yourself until later on. So in 2020 was a huge eye opener year for me. While 2020 was most people's worst year, it was like my best year ever for multiple reasons. But in that year, I just like figured out really who I was and what I was all about, and mindfulness and like calm, relaxing stuff, and free flowing life living and stuff like that. And then I was just like, locks. It just feels so right to lock my hair right now because the energy in my life, I had gotten rid of some negative energy and some negative people that I was around. So it just felt right to do it in that time, because it was kind of like a new beginning. So really, I locked my hair because I just figured out I just really evolved as a person in that year, and I wanted to express that through my hair. All right, and then also, by the way, if you weren't in the live stream in the beginning, I'm going to answer the questions from IG first, and then I'm going to answer the questions from the post on my YouTube community page, and then I'm going to answer the questions in the chat. So yeah, people in the chat, I'm gonna get to yours. I'm gonna get to your questions. So yeah, that's why I lock my hair. I feel like if you want to lock your hair, and if you haven't had locks already, it has to be a reason that's really sentimental to you, or it doesn't have to be. You can just lock it because you just like the look of it. Who will know? How will they know? How will they know? They're not gonna know. Whatever reason you want to do it for, I mean, just do it for real. What are your life goals you want to achieve? Now, this doesn't have anything to do with locks, but I'll still answer it. Man, a lot. I want to, I'm being very mindful about what I want to say that I want to do, because you, there are definitely some things you should want to say out loud to speak into existence, but there are some things that you just want to keep hush hush for real. I want to change the lives of others, and I've already really accomplished that. Just because of the amount of people, like you all, like everybody on this stream, and everybody like that DMs me on Instagram. You know, I appreciate all of your comments and all of your words of encouragement, and like people who share how much my videos and my channel have inspired them. So one of the things that I want to do in life is just to continue bringing awareness to mindfulness, mental health, and expressing yourself, expressing what's on the inside, spiritually and emotionally, and expressing that and letting your physicality be the expression of what's on the inside. So it's just kind of already what I'm doing, but I definitely want to do it on a larger scale and in other ways than YouTube, which I'm currently working on now. So in general, that's one of my life goals, to just make other people realize they can find their own joy within themselves, and they don't have to go like looking everywhere for it to be fulfilled. But joy is found on the inside. Yeah. What made you become spiritual? I was always spiritual. Everyone's spiritual. Um, it takes a certain level of, it takes a certain amount of things in your life. Maybe certain things need to happen. You need to come across certain people in life. You need to go through a certain amount, a certain type of things to realize how spiritual you are and what made me become spiritual. I was always spiritual. And it's crazy because, like I said earlier, many people can see something in you that you can't see in yourself. And I just remember this I was, because I knew, like, we all kind of like deep down know who we are, which is why we're so resistant to it, because we don't want to become it. um but in a lot of ways, a lot of us know what we are and what we have to do, and what our purpose is. A lot of us already know what our purpose is, which is crazy, because if we look at the things in life that we're resistant towards doing, it's probably the very things that we need to do to be fulfilled. You know what I'm saying? So there's this one time that I was walking home from my bus stop, and I was in probably like middle school. And one of the other kids, I don't know what we had to be talking about, but I was in a conversation with some of the other kids as we were walking home in our neighborhood from the bus stop. I don't know what we were talking about, but we were just having a regular conversation, and then all of a sudden, one of the other kids, who was like younger than me, again, I'm in middle school, probably like seventh grade. One of the younger kids says, like, to me, they say, "I just know you love God. You just, I just can tell that you love God." And I was like, I kind of took offense to it. Like, not offense, but like, I don't want to make it sound bad. But, certain things, you just, that's you, but you don't want to admit it, because you don't want other people to feel like you feel like you're either better than them, you're smarter than them, or you're wiser than them, or you have your life all figured out. Because if people think those things about you, then you start to seem unrelatable as a person. And that if people saw a sense of spirituality in me, or like a sense of, what's that word, purity, if people saw a sense of purity in me, then that would make me unrelatable as a person, as a friend, as a whatever. So that's what I mean by embarrassing. But when people see stuff in you and you're resistant to that, that's probably the very thing that you need to release and show to like the world, to contribute, like, what you have to contribute. So that's probably your purpose too. Whatever you're resistant to, that's honestly probably a purpose, because I was resistant to being spiritual for a long time. And that's the very thing that why I'm even on YouTube. Like, it was God. It wasn't like my choice. It was really my relationship with God and my relationship with spirituality, not necessarily religion, even though, religions can be helpful, but it's my relationship with God, who is a spirit. So that's what made me become spiritual. I was always spiritual. It's more so what made me release my spirituality was certain realizations. Certain realizations. All right. Next question. Is there a change in how others treat you? Hmm. I really can't tell. Is there a change in how others treat me because I have locks? There probably is, if I have to think this hard about it. I get more compliments. I know that. I get more like stares, like people, like legit people, like walking in the, like, that's, I get that. Um I think people more so see the spiritual side of me more so because I have locks. So, but I'm not sure if it's only because I have locks or because literally since I've had locks, I have changed as a person. So it's hard to pinpoint if that's exactly why I'm treated differently or seen differently by others. Um, but it's mostly a positive connotation um, with the difference. It's mostly positive, just like more compliments and more looks or stares. But yeah. Next question. Your favorite part about having locks and the hardest part of your journey. My favorite part about having locks is not having to wake up and worry about how I'm going to do my hair. It's my absolute favorite part. Low maintenance. I literally just really don't do much. It takes so much more time to even think. It takes so much more time and energy to even think about what you're going to do to your hair that day. So, yeah, I would say that's definitely my favorite part. Um, the hardest part of your journey. It was probably the first couple of months that I had locks, maybe like the first 3 months. Because when you're kind of in an awkward phase, when it's all shrinking up on you, um, and you sometimes you don't like how it looks, but once they mature and they grow on you, it's kind of like you mature with your locks. So when they were immature, it was like, wow. When I think back and when I look back at pictures of me, literally the maturity just like was not like I wasn't as mature as I am now. And so literally as your locks mature, you mature. But it was probably, to answer the question, probably the immature phase. The lack of maturity in my locks was like a lack of maturity in myself. Even though I had become mature enough to even start the journey, that was the hardest part, was the immaturity part. So yeah. How often do you retwist? Oh, this was a frequently asked question that I answered earlier in the live. So I don't. I don't retwist at all. Um, if anything, I will do braid outs or twist outs. Most of the time, twist outs. Believe it or not, this is like an old twist out, but I just like I should have worn a different color shirt so I could see like how my hair has grown. But oh, she growing for real. Um, but if anything, I do like a braid out twist out. Most of the time, twist outs, and the twist outs are like, or the twist outs slash braid outs, whatever I choose to do. I usually do that like once a month, like once a month. So if you want to see that, you can go on my channel and then click on updated lock wash day routine. And so you'll see me wash my hair, shampoo it with my shampoo, and then put a twist in it. And I don't retwist. I just two strand twist, like rope twist. So I barely even like separate my hair. I just feel it out with my hands. So what's what's your favorite hairstyle on a man? Um, I don't have one. Whatever the man wants to wear, it's cool with me. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't think about this question. I really don't. I really do not. Yeah, whatever the man wants to wear, just wears his hair however he wants and whatever he wants. That's cool. That's cool with me. Not that it's any of my business, but What if I want locks, but the shape of my head with the laughing emoji? Well, you can't change your head shape, you know. So if you don't like the way your head looks, I would say, well, the only way you would see your head is in the baby in the immature phase, right? Once your locks get mature, you won't really see it, especially if you're doing semi freeform or freeform locks, because really they'll just be like above your head, if that makes sense. They'll be above your head. But believe it or not, my head is lopsided. Believe it or not, you may not be able to, tell. But if you look straight ahead at my head, and if I don't cock my head to the side or anything like that, yeah, one of my sides, I'll tell you, this one is flat. This one is round. Like, I'm so serious. I'm not even, that's no joke. So, but you can't see it because of the locks, though, right? So I have, because, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm sure your head shape is good. Unless you're doing, unless you are doing like a high top lock type of thing where you have the bottom shaved and then you're having it on the top, and then sometimes you may wear it like in a bun or whatever. That would be the only thing I see, you know, I would see where you would see your head. Other than that, I don't know. I think it would be good either way. What made you want to transition to locks? This was kind of a repeat of what I answered earlier. What really made me want to? It was just time, because I have because again I have been thinking about it for a minute. It was time, and then also I think it was also I just really didn't want to do my hair. My hair, it was in a way that I just didn't want to detangle my hair all the time, trim it, maintain it, because I always have done my hair. Well, from the time I was like out of high school, I have always done my hair. That's not a long time, but it was too much to maintain because my hair was getting a lot longer, it was getting a lot more knots in it, and I was spending a lot of money on products, etc. So I was just like, I'm just lock it up. My hair was getting so tangled, I was like, it must want to be locked now. So I just went ahead and did that. And then my hair ended up being happy. And also part of it was because I wanted the look of locks too. I thought it would look good on me, and it does. So how long did it take to grow your locks? So in um in November of 2020 when I started my locks, yeah, they were about, like, with shrinkage, they were like right here. And I'll actually pull up a picture on my iPhone 8 to show where they were. Hopefully the camera will, like, focus for real. Because after the first month they really like shrunk. So let's see. Let's see if it's gonna focus. Let's try this. Oh, almost. There it goes. Yep. So this was in, what was it? December of 2020. In December, it was like literally like right here. And now it's like right here. So yeah, I didn't wear a black, I didn't wear a black hoodie on purpose. I promise you that. Well, I mean, part of it is my hair just grows fast. My hair has always grown fast. So I guess part of it's hereditary. Also, I do um scalp massages. So I'll just go in and massage my scalp a lot. get the blood circulating. And I think that's really it. I didn't do anything special to grow it. I think my hair grows. My hair grows pretty fast. I think a little faster than the average, because most people, like in their first year of having locks, it really doesn't grow much. And I expected my hair not to grow much. It's not stretched or anything like this. It's just shrinking. In the shower, I don't wear a shower cap. I just let the steam and the water get to it. So it's in its natural shrunken state right now. But let me show you something though. You can actually, I'm gonna zoom in again and see if this works. Focus. Okay, there it goes. I think. So you can actually see where my new growth starts versus where my twist starts, because I started with 2-strand twists, so right? So my new growth is like from here to there. Oh, come on now. Yeah. So my new growth is like from here to there, right? That's a year's worth of new growth for me. And then my twist starts here. You see that? You see like the difference in like the pattern? My new growth again from here to here. And then my twist starts from here to there. So basically in November of 2020, my joint was like this. My joint was like this. So yeah, I think my hair just grows kind of faster. You know what? I didn't even answer the question. How long did it take you to grow your locks? Well, the answer is like a year and like a month. So how long are you going to let them get? As long as they want to get, honestly. I don't have a set length. Let me look in the let me look in chat. I'm not gonna answer any questions in chat yet. I'm just gonna reply any any to anybody who like kind of like, because I'm gonna go back in the chat and answer all your questions from the chat. But hello, hello. There will always be positive and negative opinions from Locs, like, and it depends on also where you go to as well. Like, you know, the opinions will be different. Like, for example, like from your family, especially older family members, right? Then your friends, then like people just on the street. So then versus sometimes women versus men, like other people. So um oh my gosh. Well, I hope, Felicia Ash, I hope you find somewhere to pee. I really hope you find somewhere to pee, because that gut don't be feeling good when you just hold that stuff. We just hold that sucker in. That joint don't be feeling good. It do not. But I'll answer that question later. What's your lock count? I answered this before. It is 72 locks. Will tying my starter locks back at night affect how they form? Possibly. It just all depends. So it all depends on your hair type, and honestly, you know your hair better than anyone else. And don't let anybody don't let anybody like tell you that they know your hair. I mean, well, if you go to a loctician, of course, they're professionals. But still, I feel like everybody has the best relationship with their hair, better than anybody else. So with your hair type, sometimes certain hair types and certain patterns of coils or kinks can grow flat easier. I believe mine is one of them because I do have locks that get flat, and I might show them later on. But I used to tie my hair down with just like a scarf, right? And I used to tie it down like I used to push my hair to the back, mush it down like this, and basically like put it back in a ponytail. And that's how I used to sleep. Now, that may be fine for, certain other people. And you may be able to do that for years and years and your locks never get flat. For me, I realized that it was like making the locks on the top of my head flatter. And I realized that that's what was causing it because the locks on the top of my head were getting flatter, but not the ones in the back. They're still like they were still cylindrical. So it could very tying your starter locks back could very well affect your lock shape. It's kind of like trial and error. I feel like you won't really know if it really does until you try it. But if you don't want to risk that, then I would suggest just throwing on a bonnet. That's what I do personally. So after I realized that it was making my locks flat, I just use a bonnet. You know what? I need to go get like all the things that I usually use. So I'm gonna go get them. Get them. All right. So at first, I was using this scarf. It's just a silk scarf. I was using this to tie my hair back. So what I was doing was like here and then just tie it at the back. So I mean the problem with this was that the whole top of my head was basically smushed and it was flattening the lock on the top while, the rest of the back was all out and it was Gucci. But now what I do is so that my locks can have some wiggle room whenever I'm asleep at night. I just throw on this brown bonnet and it's like a jumbo bonnet. I just got all these things I get from my local beauty supply store. Excuse me. It's called Beauty for You. And it's a pretty big bonnet. And I'm actually going to have to get a longer one soon because my locks are literally like at the bottom. You can't really see it, but yeah. In this bonnet, it just gives my hair a little more wiggle room to move around and gives my locks more room to expand and grow and shape shift and just everything's Gucci. All right, next question is, do you think I should have thin or thick locks for my head shape? Well, I'm just looking at their picture. I don't know. I don't think head shape has much to do with it. I think it's more so like your hair type. So if you want, I guess my locks would be considered thick, right? If you want thick locks, right, you kind of have to look at, do you have thick hair or highly dense hair? Because I have pretty thick hair and I'm able to have thick locks because I have thick hair. But or yeah, bigger locks because I have thick hair, so it will look right. Because the amount of hair that I have, okay, I don't have to explain it. But if you have thinner strands of hair, or you have less hair in on your head, um, then you might want to look at thinner locks. And you can kind of look at your hair and compare it to other people's hair, um, to see, or to like kind of like really decipher if you have thin or thick hair. So I don't think it's much of a head shape. I think it's really what your hair be doing. So I've been growing out an afro fade for a while. What's the best way to lock it up? A clean or free form look? An afro fade? Like a taper? Mm, I mean, I can't really tell you the best way. Um, I mean, obviously, I think it would be doing the high top dreads that a lot of guys do, dreads, dreadlocks, whatever term you prefer. I don't think dreads. I don't. Oh, maybe I should do a video on that. Ooh, the word dreads, because it's actually like a word. The word dreads is historically. I just want to say this because I said it on camera. Historically, has been used by our community to reclaim the meaning of it as not dreadful, but it's kind of like we took it back and empowered ourselves with it. So um, if that term, if the term like dreads is offensive to you, didn't mean it like that. But I use it sometimes. But most of the time I use locks. So I think it would be, yeah, I think it would be the high top locks. Because if you have like a taper cut, if you ain't got nothing on the back here and you just want to straight go into locks, then it would be hard to then, like once you have locks up here, it would be hard to like have this grow out and then have to get locks back here too, or like have to lock it up later. Whether you do two strand twists and then allow those to be semi freeform locks, um, or if you choose to start with what's it called, crochet locks or instant locks or whatever. I don't think there's like a right or wrong answer here. I can't really tell you. So um I should reference my video that I did a couple months back, that was called like the best locks for you. You know, that's just the title of the video. There's no right or wrong answer that I think that is the best lock type of locks to get. But based upon that video, I kind of um, weighed the pros and cons, if you will, of each type of locks, like starting with starting with two strand twists, braids, coils, semi freeform locks, what those are, manicure locks, and instant locks. So I talked about all that and like what all they entail, how you install them, and then based upon that, you might better get an idea of which locks may be right for you. I'm just seeing if those were all the questions that I got on Instagram. Okay, those were all the questions from Instagram. I'm now gonna go to my post, my YouTube post. And then after that, I'll answer you guys in the chat. All right, let's see. All right. Okay, somebody asked, Dream Move asked, could you do a video on animals being in sync with you? What did I reply? Um, animals being in sync with you. There's a couple ways that video could go if I did do it. Yes, I could. I could definitely do a video. I'm taking that note right now. Animals. I'm taking that note right now. mental note. Even though that's not a question about locks, I'm happy to answer it. So, next question. Got a few questions. My locks taking forever to lock up. Seem like everyone I see was locked at 6 months. Well, I don't know how long you've had locks, but I do know that everybody's, does lock at different times. I would say for me, I can only speak from my personal experience, and my locks really didn't like lock until maybe a couple months ago. So it is February now. It was maybe until like November. No, November was like 3 months. It was like until October. It was really until like October that, because it was almost a year, that my hair like really, really locked. So if you're, 6 months and below, I would say don't even worry about how fast your hair is gonna lock, because it's gonna lock. Because again, different times. And then it also can depend on your your hair pattern. Um, if you have softer hair, and like say if you have two strand twist starter locks, and you feel like your hair might be more prone to, or your locks may be more prone to unraveling with your twists, you might have softer hair. Um, or on the other side, people who have like really kinky hair, like really like, or coarser hair, and you put them joints in, and then like the next day they locking up. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's different for different people, but it's definitely gonna lock. That's what hair does. So I mean, that's what our hair does. It literally tangles by itself. So I mean, just when you had loose natural hair, just think about when you had loose natural hair. If you had loose natural hair, you went and shampooed your hair, and you did not detangle that joint, and you come back a week later, you let it dry like that without being tangled, you come back a week later, that joint gonna be tangled as hell. So that's what our hair literally does. Our hair literally tangles on its own, and if it tangles enough, it's gonna become lock. That's what semi-freeform locks are. So it's definitely, I would say sometimes we compare our own journey so much to other people's journeys when, you know, we don't exactly know what they've done to lock their hair. Maybe they did something special, or just maybe it's just their hair. So I'm 3 months in and I want to start semi freeforming. Is it too early, or is it okay as long as I keep my locks separated? I've been getting mixed answers. Some say it's too early and the hair has to be trained before I can start semi freeforming. Otherwise, it'll begin to thin if I don't retwist. And others say it's perfectly okay as long as I keep the hairs in the right lock and keep them separated. Please help. First of all, let me take a swig of water because I keep on. All right. So you are 3 months in and you want to start semi freeforming. My answer to your question is I don't think it's too early to start semi freeforming. Honestly, um, trying to think back to when I was 3 months in. Well, I can't see your hair. I can't see your hair, Simone. So I would say it does depend. Has your hair started locking yet? Or is it like, if you're in the chat, you can reply. It has your hair started locking yet? Like, has it started budding at the root? Because, locking really happens at the root of your hair. When I was kind of like 3, 4 months, and again, I can only speak from my experience, but we're two different people. So when I was 3 or 4 months in, my hair won't really really, it was budding, but it wasn't really doing much like that for real until like 5 or 6 months. So has it started budding like at the root, really budding? If so, then I would say it's not too early. And I would say, go for it and start small. So that means, for example, if you, in the first 3 months that you had your locks, if you have been retwisting for like every 2 weeks, then don't like just go straight into not retwisting at all. Then start to maybe go to 3 weeks, and then go to once a month, and then go to every other month, and then maybe do it like that. So then by the time you get to 8 months or to a year, your hair is trained. So it's kind of a mixed answer of what I think and what other people told you to kind of train your hair to grow into your locks. Because I think still at like 2 or 3 months, your hair is kind of still like in shock. Like, what is going on? So I would say like, if you want to start semi-freeforming, kind of space out your retwists, and maybe not just go cold turkey, kind of like ease your hair into it. I have Killian on the mat, I think that's it, says, I have a lot of flat locks. What can I do to give them a rounder shape? So when your locks are already flat and they have locked flatly, flat. Is that a word? Flatly. I don't think that's a word. If they have locked like that and they've been like that for more than 2, 3 months, I would say do your best. And if you're semi-freeforming, yeah, you didn't say if you're semi-freeforming or not, but I would just say the best way to combat that is to palm roll them, not retwist, because palm roll and retwist are 2 different things. Excuse me. You can palm roll when you retwist. Not saying you like you yourself, but palm rolling can be a part of retwisting, but you don't have to retwist in order to palm roll, if that makes sense. So what I'm saying is, when your lock is flat, that means, and I think I'm going to pull out one of my locks to show. Some of mine are certainly flat. Oh, this joint right here, this baby right here. All right, let's focus. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. So if you can see, it's a little bit flat. It's not like too flat, but it's a little bit flat. So here's how to palm roll without retwisting. You just take it right here, and also you want to do this while like straight out the shower when your hair is still wet, or right after you've washed it, because you want it to be soft and malleable so that you can manipulate the shape of your hair. You don't want to do this while it's dry. So, and I would recommend right after you wash it, don't just like spray it with some rose water or water, because you want it to be like saturated. So you just take it and then just like, and just go down and just go down and just go down. See, like I didn't do any retwist at all. I'm just palm rolling it and maybe doing some of this and like massaging it so that, and again, it's gonna be wet because this ain't doing nothing to my locks right now. But you want to just kind of like massage it and loosen it up like that, and then palm roll it a little bit, and then honestly see where that takes you. I can't recommend. I mean, I can't say for sure that it will completely make them cylindrical, but it will definitely do something. If you have a lot of flat locks and you just don't like the flat lock style at all, if you have semi freeform locks, it's kind of difficult to get away from flat locks, to be honest with you, because you don't palm roll. So, like, to me, at least in my experience, palm rolling is what makes them cylindrical in the first place. And I am starting to think that flat locks is what our hair naturally wants to do, because with every single person I've seen that has like free, like completely freeform locks, their locks will be flat. Like, they'll definitely have flat locks. I've never seen anybody with freeform locks or with like mature freeform locks that don't have flat locks. So I'm starting to think it's kind of like the hair's natural shape if you're semi freeforming or freeforming. So those are all of the questions off of Instagram and YouTube. Thank you for everybody who asked me questions off of there. Now I'm going to get into the chat. All right. Let's focus. Let's put this joint in focus. There we go, I think. All right. Do you have any flat locks? If you don't, how did you prevent that? I do have flat locks, and I just showed you all one, but I mean, some of them may not look flat to you, but I can feel that they're flat, like, and also because I two-strand twist my locks, this one's flat. And also you can see the difference between where my two-strand twist starts. So all this was my starter lock, right? And then all this is my new growth. So you can see that it's flat, right? But I had two-strand twisting, so it kind of twisted it up a little bit. You see that? But no, this one's flat. This one's flat. So again, you can see where my starter lock two-strand twist was, and then this is like my new growth, and it's flat. So I mean, I have I have quite a few flat locks. It's just, yeah, this one's flat. You see how it is? Because I two-strand twist them, right? So they're kind of still twisted at the root, but this one's kind of flat. You see? This one's flat. Yeah, so I mean, this one's definitely flat. I don't know if it looks flat to you, but I can literally feel that it's flat. But it really doesn't. Let's see. I'm gonna pick like a really, really flat one. Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't really like bother me or anything that I have flat locks. It just really is what it is. And I'm just starting to really get used to it. And if, like I said before, if you are gonna semi freeform your locks, it's kind of something that you're gonna have a hard time avoiding, because that's just kind of how the hair naturally wants to be. And to answer your second question, one of the ways that I did prevent it when I realized my locks were getting flat is I stopped wearing that scarf to bed, that tied down my head, and I just wore my bonnet so that at night my hair would just it can expand more. By the way, I forgot to show you all my products that I use, but I'm gonna show them after I answer these questions. I have locks and had Brock Shelby said, I have locks and had them before. Sometimes I get tired of them. Do you get tired of them? They're hot in the summer. I don't get tired of my locks at all. I love them. I never miss my natural hair. I mean, I have natural hair, but I never miss my loose natural hair ever. I mean, I loved it. It's beautiful. It still is beautiful. My hair is beautiful. Natural hair is beautiful. Black hair is beautiful, but I don't miss it. I love my locks that much. I don't miss detangling. I don't miss wash day. I don't. I do not. Um, it doesn't really get hot for me. Maybe it will this summer because it's on my neck now for real. But I never get tired of locks. No. I tried your combining method about 2 weeks ago. How is it going for you? It seems to still be loose for me, so I applied rubber bands down the shaft until it combines. So I'm actually gonna make an update on that video because I was just, mm, I told y'all that ain't no tutorial because it's not like I knew what exactly I was doing for real, but it did kind of work. So I'll just show you what they look like now. With combining that with doing the crochet method at the root, it combined them at the root pretty well. But to be honest, after that video, I had to twist them, and I just had to twist them tighter. And when I did, I didn't crochet them at the bottom like I crocheted at the top. So when I redid it after I filmed that video, I just twisted it a lot tighter, and I just wrapped the end of one of the twists around the other. So kind of like I'll try to do it like this. So when I twisted, but I twisted tighter than this. So I twisted, and then I took one end and I kind of like wrapped it around the other and like that. And that's what secured the locks that I combined. Because in the video, it really wasn't that tight. They really weren't that tightly twisted, but here it is. And then on the other side, I did the same. I redid this one too. So please don't take that as a tutorial. I just was just trial and error, but I hope that it helps some people. But I'm gonna do an update on that because it wasn't the best way. It wasn't the absolute best way to combine locks. Locks as a hairstyle are so unique that people are always gonna take second looks. There will be positive and negative opinions, of course, but either way, you will always stand out. Oh yeah, I've definitely got some negative looks before, but I think low key. I don't know. Negative looks actually bring me more. They bring me more life. Like when I get negative looks, it brings me more life because it just makes me realize how different locks are, that people give you negative looks about something that you feel is so beautiful to you. And it kind of shows how much pride you take in it. I'm starting to get dreads right now. Can you check out my starters on Insta? Sure. Send me direct message me on IG. I answer direct messages. I know I have some ones that I have not answered yet. Sorry, I'll get to them. But yeah, I answer direct messages. So yeah, message me. I'll message you back. Hi, how was your day? Hi, Felicia. My day was good. How was your day? Thank you. Thank you for asking. I'm new, but you seem great. Thank you. I am pretty great. It's like, no. Well, I think I'm great. If I must say so myself. But thank you. Honey, I shrunk the locks. LOL. Yo, the first 3 months of your lock journey, that's facts. What's the worst what's the worst you ever had to pee? Probably when I was a child. You know, children pee on themselves all the time. Honestly. It's probably like on the playground or something like that. How long did your hair take to lock? Uh, to fully lock? Honestly, I don't think my hair is fully even mature yet. Like fully mature. I don't think it's like fully mature yet. Because I still have some ends that aren't sealed up. So it hasn't even locked all the way like this, like at the top. But for it to look like this, I mean, I guess it took 11 months. It took 11 months for me to see that my locks were mature. I'll say that. My locks were mature at 11 months. I'm trying to see the next question. Will you ever retwist? So I made a video. The title was Why I Will Never Retwist My Locks Again. But, never say never. People change, grow, and evolve, so I might. I might, honestly. But as of now, no. There's no reason for me to. When, like, a retwist for me, it only lasts like a week and then it's gone. So it's kind of like you put in all that work just for it to last a week, and it doesn't even help your hair lock. It just kind of makes it look nice. Do you? Oh, let me show what I use the the moisture routine. Okay, somebody had commented earlier about my moisture routine. So when I moisturize my locks, I literally only use one product. So a lot of people ask me, "What do you use on your locks?" It's so minimalistic. It's the most simple thing. I just use literally one product, and that is rose water. This is the rose water that I use. Sorry, my camera is just not wanting to focus, but it is from Napstar, and all the ingredients are literally rose water, distilled water, and aloe vera gel. So rose water and distilled water is what I use on wash day after I shampoo my hair. Maybe I should show what shampoo I use. Dag. But after I shampoo my hair, I just get out the shower. Excuse me. I spray this all over and I start doing my care, whichever I do, whether I just leave it be, leave it down, or whether I two-strand and twist it, or whether I do a braid out. I don't use any oils. I don't use anything on my scalp. If my scalp gets dry, I spray this on it. So I just don't use anything fancy. I literally use one product other than my shampoo. And also, again, if you want to see what I use for my shampoo, you can check out my lock day wash routine or my updated one, because the other one, like the first one that I did on my channel, I no longer use any of those products. So do you think neat parting is important for locks? It depends. It depends on if you're trying to have your locks, maintained. Yeah, I think neat parting is important. I think that a good foundation for your locks is important. And what that means is when you first start your locks, if you want crisp parting, then a good foundation should be, I really don't know. So I know this one thing. When you do part your locks, when you first start your locks, you want to have your locks like in layers. So I did the brick layering method. And the reason that you want to do that, and if you don't know what brick layering is, just like Google it. And it's like, think of bricks on a house. Bricks, usually bricks are in windows. So you have two sections right here. The row on top, you're not going to put the two sections right above those two sections. You're going to put them like diagonal from the two sections, if that makes sense. So brick layering parting, all your parts are staggered. They're in windows. And that's because it makes the locks look more flattering, and it can make it look like it's filling out your head a lot more once your locks start maturing. So that's why that's what I kind of mean by a good foundation. Now, as far as crisp parting, a lot of people don't start with perfectly square parts or perfectly diamond parts. Some people just feel out the parts with their hand. But I will say that the parts that I do see that are started with a foundation, like the parts make sense and they're organized, I will say that the locks end up looking a bit cleaner or a bit organized. Even if they later on down the line decide to start freeforming their locks or semi-freeforming their locks. Even though I knew I want to do semi-freeform locks, if I would have started with just any parts, I feel like my locks just wouldn't have looked as they wouldn't fall in the way that they do, because they would have just been all over the place instead, and they would have been like all type of different sizes, which they still are, but it just brings more organization to it. So glad I caught a live. Always love your vibe. Thank you. All right. So, oh my gosh. This chat, bruh. Oh my gosh. Okay. Um, hey, great content. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Marco Gomez. Can lock my hair if bald headed. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That, and he blew up the chat too. Okay. Everybody, Marco, that he's my number one fan. Okay. That's my man. He said, "Can I lock my hair if I'm bald headed?" No, because you don't have any hair. Tyshawn King says, "Question: I tried comb coils, but they started to unravel at some of the tips. Would two strands be a better option if I use bands or something else?" um. Well, I don't know what your hair looks like, but I would say if your hair doesn't, if you feel like your hair doesn't like comb coils, and well, I feel like comb coils would be less prone to unraveling than two strand twists. And that's because two strand twists are, I mean, they're two strands instead of one strand kind of coiled around itself. You know what I'm saying? So, like with comb coils, it's just one coil around itself rather than it's more likely for two strands to want to unravel than one strand. So I think that hmm, I think that it all depends. You definitely know your hair better than I do because I can't see your hair. But I would say try both and trial and error. Like honestly, a lot of this is just like trial and error. So yeah, definitely try and see what happens. Marco Gomez, you might be in the wrong chat group. How your two locks are doing, the ones that you combined? Well, I kind of answered that earlier, but I think they're doing pretty good. I will see in about a month, and I'll definitely do an update video on it because I already plan on doing an update video. So, what's the best way to keep starter locks hydrated? Um, well, I feel like honestly, hydration starts from the inside. So, if you ask me about my moisture routine, I really don't do much at all. So with hydration, but that's what works for me. And honestly, I don't mind my locks being a little bit like this. I know this live stream is going over. I'm gonna end it in like before it gets to an hour and 20 minutes. But I think that when it comes to moisture and telling other people how to hydrate their locks, I may not be the best source just because what works for me, and it seems not to work for most people. Most people. So I think what did work for me, and I used to do this when I did have starter locks within like the first 4 or 5 months that I had my locks. Aloe vera, like aloe vera. I personally used aloe vera gel on my scalp and my hair, but a lot of people use aloe vera juice, which is very moisturizing. And like I said, in this what's it called, rose water that I use, there's aloe vera in here. So I don't really use aloe vera by itself anymore. I just use this rose water that already has aloe vera in it, and I just spray this. So for starter locks, I would say um, water. Honestly, water. Because what hydrates our body? Water. Drinking more water, and I feel like hydration comes from the inside out as well. So I'll also look at how much water you're drinking and, you know, try to keep yourself hydrated from the inside. How old are your locks? My locks are a year and January. On on Monday they will be a year and 3 months. So Monday would be 3 months. Okay. So but to have dreadlocks comes from Jamaica or being Rastafarian. I could agree. I could agree it definitely comes from I I could agree that it definitely has origins there. Yeah, I definitely could agree. What do you think of white people with locks? That might be a whole other video. If they want locks, they could get locks. I don't I don't one way or the other, I don't really, it is what it is. Like I don't look at it and cringe or anything, but at the same time, like, do you really feel like, do you want, mm, cause I just, it just kind of makes me question, why do they want locks in the first place? Why did you feel that you wanted locks? What look were you trying to go for? And do you know what you're representing? Do you know what you're representing? That's all. That's all. But I don't really. I can't really say. I can't really say. I can't really hate on it for real, but it definitely. White people may do it for fashion. Yeah, true, right? So like you gotta kind of question the origins, but you can't really look inside someone else and question and decide for them why they did it. Um, so I can't say for them, or spiritual reasons. What's your zodiac sign? You have really good aura and energy. Yes, I'm a Virgo. I am a Virgo. So, oh, these comments are coming. These comments are coming really fast. Thank you, Marco, that you're my number one fan. I appreciate you. Mad Lad of Creativity. I had them for a month for spiritual reasons. after doing research on the culture behind it, but I shaved them off because my white friends bullied me and said it was cultural appropriation. A lot of things, you know what? Okay. A lot of things is cultural appropriation that just don't get called out. You know what I'm saying? Um, I am a meditation teacher. I teach meditation and I've learned certain styles of meditation. And even though meditation is not the same as wearing a certain style of hair or wearing a dashiki or African print or wearing an ankh and not knowing what the ankh represents, there, in some way or another, we all participate in some form of cultural appropriation. Not saying that it's okay for anybody or non-offensive for anybody to participate in it, but it's sort of like the reason why I said that for like what I think about white people and locks, I don't really think one way or the other about it, is because we kind of got to look at the plank in our own eye before pointing out the speck in somebody else's eye, if you know what I mean. In some way or another, whether even if you are a black person, in some way or another, we all participate in some type of cultural appropriation. And so, like for me with meditation, I know I've learned some styles of meditation, and I teach some styles of meditation that I don't that I could do better looking up the origin of where that meditation came from, because it may have came from Buddhist views or more Hinduist views or Taoist views, and has roots in like ancient India or wherever it has roots in. So it's just different the way certain people see it. And so either way or another, I kind of the reason why I just kind of fall back on it is because I know that I participate in some form of cultural appropriation. And so for me to point out the speck in somebody else's eye before removing the plank in my eye, I just haven't done that yet. So it's kind of difficult to say that you can point that out, because we all pretty much do it, whether or not you realize it. We all do it on some level. All right, I'm about to wrap this thing up, but you all have given me some really good videos. I'm going to ponder on it, and of video ideas. I'm definitely going to ponder on it. I do want to answer a couple more questions. If you got them spiritually, then let them be. Don't mind the haters. They just hate them. Yeah, I mean, if you really did your research and you know exactly why you got locks, if people want to hate, then let them hate. If people have a problem with it, then honestly, that is their problem. So after research, I concluded it was cultural appreciation. I think he means appropriation. Also, I wanted to experience the energetic benefits. True, because when you have locks, you don't lose hair, and so hair is antenna. Um, but I also believe there is a reason why specifically Black people or people with Afro textured hair lock their hair, because you should go back and watch my video on African American hair and spirituality. So, and I want to go back and change that title to Black hair or like Afro textured hair and spirituality, because I know not every Black person is an African American person. I just want to acknowledge that not every Black person is African American. So I just meant Black, all Black people, because our hair is in a way that the coils and kinks that we have, it conducts energy like a spring, like a spring. You know, when you take a pin apart, a pin, and you see like the pin has a spring, and the spring in the pin is what makes the pin like click, click, click. So our hair is like that spring. It conducts energy, it's movement. So for Black people, when we have locks and we keep all of our hairs, or pretty much all of them, those are like antennas, because they conduct energy for us. And so with African spirituality, like going back to the roots for real, it was a way for us to connect with the higher power. So yeah. Mad lad, you should always go within. Never let other people control your decision. It's your journey. If you want, block, start over. Definitely. Great input said, I enjoy your videos so much. Thank you. I've been seeing your comments too, and I appreciate it. Yeah, for real, don't let nobody make you feel insecure, because it's just really about what you think and feel on the inside, really. It really is. What do you feel is right in your heart? And I will say this, excuse me, a lot of things that are led by divine wisdom won't make sense to regular people. Or I shouldn't say regular people. It won't make sense to people. Whatever you are guided to do divinely may not make sense to most people, because divine knowledge and wisdom, like when we get like, if you've ever gotten a spiritual download, it's divine wisdom that transcends a human being's level of logic and reasoning. So a lot of what God will lead us to do will be against the grain of what most people would expect us to do, or would expect any human person to do, which is what makes it divine, which is what makes it spiritual, which is what is a spiritual journey, which is why we should always do whatever feels right coming from within. Because there are so many things that we will let lower ego human minds talk us out of doing, that was inspired by the divine. Like when you've been given an instruction by divine wisdom, by God, and it's inspired by God, but other humans, it transcends a human's level of logic, so they don't understand and they want to beat you down for doing it. Um, for real, that's just a sign to do it more. It's just a sign to do it more. So Matthew Smith undercover. Is it true that your face is my display picture? That what I'm appalled. First of all, is that this live? Like, is that this live? You interesting. That's interesting. Cool. All right. Oh there, buddy. Take it easy. It's giving stalker. Oh my god, I'm about to end this live. I'm about to end this live in a little bit. Okay, I want to answer this. My hair goes away from my locks. Any suggestions? Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, yes, because I recently realized that my hair grows away from my locks, and it was crazy because I didn't realize it until people's like a couple people commented on the video that I did when I combined my locks, when I talk about how my locks were thinning in the on the edges. And I didn't think that my hair grew away from my locks, because if you look in the center of my head, it doesn't look the same. I mean, it's fuzzy up here, but like my locks are thick. None of my locks, like literally none of my locks are just like thinning, you know? If you look in the center of my head, look in the center. Yeah. If you look in the center, it's all thick. It's just literally on the edges, which is why I combined them. But when some people commented saying, "Yeah, your edges, Lolo, your edges might be thinning, or your locks might be thinning on the edges because your hair grows away from your locks." And then I kind of looked at some videos, specifically Atreo Locks videos, and he talks about how to kind of like braid your new growth into your locks, which somebody recommended me to do. Um, I gotta look back at a video and see how to do that. But I mean, there's a couple of things that you could do. One, if you want to, you could just retwist your locks more often. Um, or palm roll your new growth into your locks. Um, but if you have semi freeform locks like me, you could also do more braid outs and twist outs. Now, twist outs work for me for preventing thinning around the edges and preventing my hair from growing away from my locks. It does that because when I two strand twist my locks, I'm kind of like I'm kind of like taking the new growth and twisting it around my lock, even though I'm not retwisting. So I'll take two locks and somehow twisting them together. Somehow, like twisting them together allows the new growth to just lay flatter. And so when you take it a loose, the new growth will be growing into the lock. So you do twist out, braid out, or palm roll. You could palm roll without retwisting, or you could just retwist your locks more often. And I'll definitely do a video on that in the future as well. And I believe that is all the questions I will answer today. Because I will okay. I was just reading to make sure I wasn't missing. Did I miss me? Questions? Marco Gomez, you blew up my chat. Everyone tell Marco Gomez to go to sleep. But anyways, thank you all for logging on to my live stream. And I hope you have a great rest of your night, morning, day, or wherever you are in the world, whatever time it is for you. And yeah, this live definitely went over an hour. It was like an hour and 30 minutes. But I hope I answered a lot of you guys' questions. If not, always feel free to message me on Instagram. Like I said before, I message back. If not right away, I'll definitely get to it because I be seeing it. I just be, hectic. Life happens. So, and thank you, for everybody who asked me questions. Thank you for everybody who commented, and thank you for watching my channel. Thank you for just like being here. I'm glad I get to interact with everybody on a more so like personable level than just me like recording a video and then not hearing your responses until after I upload the video, and the video is like 2 weeks old. So yeah, I hope you have a great night, and everybody be safe and be blessed. Peace.